Perfect.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Erin Spreen and I reside in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I have been in the industry for 28 years, building teams for 16 internationally. It's been an amazing ride. I have a couple really incredible people here tonight. I know many of you guys have been getting invites to this special call. I am just so excited because I have been part of another opportunity in regards to AI, but we've been waiting for 5 years. So when I seen this, Lior, my dear friend, shared this over to me, I was like, I'm in once I seen the information. And it's been wild this past 24 hours, 48 hours. So it's only going to get busier. But Lior, I'm going to introduce you to everybody just so everybody can know a little bit about yourself. And he's a very seasoned networker as well, as for over 20 years, and has built teams in 67 countries. He was a top earner and a #1 recruiter in the previous company project he was part of. He's a presenter and trainer. He's a mindset coach. He's a father of 2 and loves to help people succeed and follow their dreams and goals. So, Lior, I'm going to hand the call right over to you.
Thank you so much, Erin, for that great introduction. And hello, shalom. We have people here from all over the world. I see people here from Israel, which is very close to my heart because I was born in Israel. So it's, as you could probably tell with my name, with a name like Lior, there's only one place you could actually be from. And it's great to have everybody here. This is a really exciting opportunity, and it's great to be partnered with Erin, and it's great to be partnered with all of you as well. This is an opportunity that I saw about 4 weeks ago when the company just started the pre-launch, and it's been a wild, wild ride for the last 4 weeks. We're at over 32,000 people that have joined this opportunity in the last 4 weeks, and it's growing every single day. So really incredible. If I could just ask everybody to mute themselves, or if Erin, you could mute the people on the call, that would be great. And we're going to share with you today the incredible opportunity that is LEV AI, which stands for Leveraging AI. We're going to show you a little bit about the product suite of the tools. We're going to go into the compensation plan, and then at the end of it, we can have some testimonials. We can do some Q&A. If anybody has any questions, you can put it into the chat group and we can answer them at the end. Or at the end, if you would like to raise your hand, we can answer any questions as well. So it's going to be a great 30, 40 minutes with everybody. It's going to be really, really exciting. So hold on to your chair. And to get things off, we're going to introduce the speaker for today is none other than Mr. Randy Schroeder. Schroeder, sorry.
Schroeder, you're getting closer all the time.
I'm getting closer. The German pronunciation is going to come. So Randy Schroeder, and he has actually been in this industry for longer than a lot of us, for probably all of us, for 35 years. He's built teams of over 1 million people, and he didn't just do it one time. Randy has built teams of 1 million people in 4 different companies. So if you do it once, it might just be luck. A lot of people do it, and it ends up being luck. But if you do it 4 times, you probably have to know something in order to be able to do it 4 separate times. So Randy, I can definitely say from my experience with Randy, he has a lot of experience in this industry. He has a lot of experience in personal development. He's a great trainer and leader in terms of mindset and helping people to understand this business and understand their potential and getting the best out of people in order to help them to be successful in this industry. And something that I really love is that he helps people to be happy. And his #1 goal is to help people to make money. That's why we're here. That's why we're here to see this opportunity. We're not just here to have fun, even though we're going to be having a lot of fun. We're here to make money as well and to help people to change their lives. So without any further ado, I would love to introduce Mr. Randy Schroeder. Randy, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. I wish so much that I could be with each one of you individually right now. I wish that I could be with each of you individually right now and have a conversation, because I'd really like to talk about what's important to you. I don't know you, but I can make a few basic assumptions. what I think is that all of us here would prefer to live life in the absence of financial pressure. And I'm pretty comfortable saying that. None of us would like to live life with financial pressure. I'm pretty comfortable saying that we would like to have control of our own destiny. There are a lot of things about this venture that I think is going to resonate with all of you if you have any entrepreneurial blood in your body at all. I will say, because I see several of you here, I see Ron Liel, and I see others of you that are from Israel. I don't happen to be either Israeli or Jewish. However, Israel has a very, very special place in my heart. Some of my biggest life successes have emanated out of Israel. I once had over 1,000 people fly from Israel to come to a convention in the United States, and 1,000 Israelis filling up a hall with the little blue lights and the Israeli flag. I'm telling you, it wouldn't even matter who you are unless your heart was of stone. You'd have tears in your eyes. And so I want you all to know that Israel holds a special, special place in my heart. Now, that being said, any of you who don't happen to be Israeli or from Israel, you know who else has a special place in my heart? Are people who are willing to do what is required to gather more knowledge. Understand this, our total life outcome today, as we speak, our outcome right now is determined by the following inputs. It's what we know. We cannot act upon knowledge we don't have. And so I'm hoping over the course of the next 30 minutes to share with you some information to help you gather knowledge. You can't act on information you don't have. Our life outcome then is based upon knowledge, things we know. Knowledge is great, but I know a lot of very knowledgeable people who don't make any money. And Lior was correct. I'm here for a variety of reasons, but this is not a hobby for me. This is about making money, and it's about making money as a result of helping other people make money. So our outcome is based upon our knowledge. Knowledge doesn't make more money. What is skill? Skill is what we know how to do. If one gathers knowledge, we would then hope to involve you in a process which results in you developing through the use of artificial intelligence, which I'll describe to you, through the utilization of artificial intelligence. I believe that this can help you develop more skill. That's what I believe based on my experience. And finally, if let's say for a moment that Aaron knows you, you're here because Aaron asked you to be here. What at the end of the session, you were to say to Aaron, you know what, this Randy guy, he seems to have knowledge and past results suggest that he has some skill, but I just don't like him. I mean, he's arrogant, he's full of himself, he doesn't tell the truth. And I even though it's on the internet, I can smell alcohol on his breath. Right? You see, people all start in the wrong place, I believe. They start focusing on knowledge and skill. And I think where we should start focusing is on character. Because if you want to be in business with me, you'll then be patient with me as I develop, as I gather knowledge and develop skill. But if you just don't like me because of my behaviors, then my knowledge and skill is not going to matter. And so really and truly, what I believe in doing is engaging people in a process which causes them to become more, to be more happy more of the time. I think what I'm going to describe from a business message is remarkably easy. It's life that's hard. And if we can learn to live our lives in such a way that the background noise all settles down, then we can engage in the simple behaviors required to have a breakthrough success here. So with all of that in mind, I thank you for being here. I acknowledge the fact that some of you are up in the middle of the night to have this conversation. And I want you to know I appreciate that. I respect it. That tells me that you have entrepreneurial blood flowing in your veins. And it tells me that if the timing is right, we're going to become business partners. That will be the determining factor. No one's going to say that's a bad idea. The question will only be, is your personal timing right to act? And if so, then I look forward to our future together. I'm going to share my screen because I want to deliver information that is factual and not make any misstatements. So I'll rely upon a couple of slides to make sure that I don't. And we're going to introduce to you a company called LEV AI. That stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. That is the name of the company. The concept is to bring artificial intelligence in an accessible way to the entire planet. That is the concept. In order to understand at the very outset what I consider the magnitude of the project to be, there probably are not many of you on this session who are as old as me. I'll be 68 next month. All of you are younger than that. I remember when the first computers were introduced. I had a friend named Andy Kay, and Andy launched a company called Kpro Computer. Kpro launched in direct competition to Apple. I remember I was in Andy's home, and it wasn't a business discussion. He was my friend. And I saw that very first Kpro computer in 1982. And Andy said, Randy, the day is going to come when every desk is going to have one of these computers on it. He could see the future. I could not. He understood that the entire global population was going to be required to become computerized. And each of you ask yourselves this question. Did you get to make a choice of whether you would adopt computerization or was it in fact thrust upon you? It was thrust upon you. Even I think of my most observant friends in Israel, for whom the laws are so difficult to navigate. They didn't stay away from computers. It would have been easy to claim a religious exemption, but then you'd have been left behind. That's the truth. We were all required to adopt computerization. And not too long thereafter, we were all likewise required to adopt online activities. We couldn't choose to stay off the internet. We couldn't choose to not use computers. I want you to know that this is a moment like that. We cannot choose to not adopt AI. It will be thrust upon us. It is a global mandate. It has already started. The question is not whether or not we will adopt. The question is whether we will be a conduit to the adoption of other people so that we earn royalties. And so right now, whether or not you've ever had the moment before, I do want you to know that you have a moment of profound opportunity right now. The future is, in fact, in our hands. The question is, what do we choose to do with it? My choice is to bring a company called LEV AI, a concept leveraging artificial intelligence, and to make that accessible to as many people on planet Earth as we can. Now, it gives me a lot of joy and satisfaction to introduce my son, Blake. Blake is the president of this company. Of course, that gives me pride. And I know pride is a dangerous thing, but the right kind of pride. I could not have made that hire because I don't own the company. Blake is an attorney. Blake has been the manager of very large businesses. Blake was the general counsel for a company called MyWeb. Blake then, in fact, moved to Israel, lived in Tel Aviv, and was the general manager of MyWeb Israel for a couple of years. Then moved to Lisbon, being fluent in Portuguese. He ran the entire European, Middle East, and Latin American businesses, as well as North America, for a company doing more than $500 million in annual sales. His next tremendous success, and it was a big one, was when, as CEO of Medical Marijuana Incorporated, he successfully guided that company and, in fact, in some ways, an entire industry through the end of the prohibition of cannabis. He recently completed his non-compete agreement, making him eligible to guide this company into a future that will be a more remarkable future than anything any of us have as yet in our lives had a chance to participate in. When I started talking about artificial intelligence not too many months ago, I realized that I was joining a conversation that was already ongoing. And by the way, just test this out a little bit. If you're riding on a school bus full of middle school children, you'll hear conversations about AI. If you're in the graduate schools of the finest universities, you'll hear discussion of AI. If you're in corporate jets and boardrooms, you'll hear discussion of AI. Recently, the CEO of Google, a truly remarkable man named Sundar Pichai, made this statement. He said that AI is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we have done in the past. And can you imagine that statement? This from Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, one of the most intelligent, educated, knowledgeable men in the world of technology. What he said is that AI is going to be more profound than fire or electricity or anything we have done in the past. And here we see Demis Hassabis, the deepest mind at DeepMind, stating that the difference here with artificial intelligence is that it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. Now, let's talk about that for just a second. When I began communicating with people about artificial intelligence, I heard every kind of reaction: profound excitement, enthusiasm, confusion, and sometimes fear. What was the fear about? The fear was about I don't want to say uneducated, but ignorant, lacking in knowledge, those believing that AI was going to take from them their career. If that happens to anyone, it is because of decisions that they made. For example, we've now had illustrations, Sundar Pichai saying, or here we have Demis Hassabis saying it's going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution. And so let's think about that for a moment. Was the Industrial Revolution a good thing or a bad thing? Well, that depends. If you were a person who made the harnesses to go on draft horses who would pull plows, then the Industrial Revolution, that wasn't a very good thing, was it? Because it completely eliminated an industry. So that was bad. On the other hand, it gave rise to many more industries because so much more can be accomplished with a John Deere tractor or a Case tractor than can be accomplished with the horse and buggy. So is it good or is it bad? It's good. Is it good or is it bad for you? That depends on decisions that one makes. But we must all understand this. We do not have a choice as to whether we adopt AI. any more than we had a choice of whether we would adopt computerization or adopt the internet. That is being thrust upon us. The question is, what do we do with that reality? LEV AI, that's a company. That's the name of our company. That stands for leveraging artificial intelligence. The concept is to bring accessible artificial intelligence to the masses of planet Earth. There are 8 billion people living on this planet today. Something north of 7.5 billion of them use computers and the internet. That's the same number of them who will use AI within a decade. And frankly, the real race is in the coming 4 years. The foundations will be set in place. The primary market shares will be earned in the coming 4 years. This is a moment of profound, remarkable opportunity. Why? Because artificial intelligence makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses if you can learn out how to piece together all of the independent pieces of the puzzle that people currently use. In LEV AI, it makes it simple because everything for the first time is in one house at a small percentage of the cost of buying the individual applications. And so there are 388 million small businesses in the world, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, home-based business owners. LEV AI makes it simple for such to launch, market, and grow businesses with no expensive CMO, agency, or complicated tech skills required. When a company or an individual begins attempting to use artificial intelligence, what they will confront is a very, very confusing market basket today. One application for CRM, customer relationship management, one application to grow and maintain social media presence, one application to grow and maintain websites, one application to guide and prompt team members through the revenue producing activities. Very confusing. And each one of the solutions requires a separate application. It requires a separate subscription, and it requires a separate login. It's confusing and it's costly. LEV AI brings it all home into one spot, where the only place in the entire world of AI today, where the entire market basket of technology is communicating one with another, where they're not operating independently. This is a superior product or service than can be had elsewhere. And remarkably enough, while it's the superior product and service, it also is the very best price and the easiest to learn how to use. So the solution to all those problems, it's LEV AI. This makes building and maintaining a candidate or customer list far easier. Notice it says easier, it doesn't say easy. Nothing that has great outcome is easy. That's not the truth. But what is artificial intelligence? It is a tool. Tools don't do work by themselves. The kind of tool determines how much can be accomplished in what period of time. With a shovel, one can dig a ditch. With a backhoe, one can dig a ditch much quicker. Artificial intelligence is sort of like going from a shovel to a backhoe in the hands of a skilled user. It makes building and maintaining a candidate or customer list far easier. It creates confidence about what to say to each candidate throughout the engagement process, and it removes barriers that make people feel stuck. I want to reflect on that for a moment. Many years ago, my desire, I was raised in a home with no money. And I mean, no money. I thought that I was raised in poverty until I worked in India and Indonesia and rural Mexico. And I now know what poverty is. And I was certainly not raised in that. I was raised in the United States of America, where there truly is no poverty. But I was raised on the very lowest thresholds of the middle class. And it created in me a very, very, very deep burning desire to live a life in the absence of financial pressure. And it created in me a big desire to live a life where I did not have to ask how much things cost all the time. And I didn't have to ever say, I'm sorry, that's too much. That set me off on a path of entrepreneurship. And what I've discovered is this: I have never in my life observed even one person who has done all that which is required to succeed, but done it poorly and therefore failed. I've never seen it even once. What I've encountered, unfortunately, are countless thousands of people who have simply not done that which was required to succeed. They were stuck. Well, in the next few minutes, you'll come to understand how this removes the barriers that cause people to feel stuck. If we can get them unstuck, then they'll act. And Cicero said years ago, the skill to do comes from the doing. It's not about doing anything especially well. It's about doing enough of it. And if we do enough of it, we'll one day do it well. The LEV AI solution will, not might, will result in every person engaging in more of the fundamentally correct revenue producing activities, thereby developing the skill which creates poise and self-confidence, which results in the development of a new leader. That is what we do. Artificial intelligence, properly leveraged, will accelerate leadership development. It will not replace any leader. That's an impossibility. It can replace one who does not develop leadership skills, but AI will never replace a leader. That is a precious commodity, and that is developed through the utilization of the process, removing the barriers that make you feel stuck. People engage in more revenue producing activities. They develop more skill. They develop more confidence, poise, and they become the attractive leader that others are gravitated to. Keeps you in front of customers and candidates to maximize sales results. And really, when I saw this first thing, removes the fear of failure. Every time I see that or read it, I have to smile. How should we remove the fear of failure? By helping people engage in a process which no longer results in failure. About 10 successes in a row, and we won't fear failure anymore. We will remove the fear of failure by removing the incidence of failure by a person who properly leverages artificial intelligence through LEV AI. Everything you need in one place, from online presence to CRM to website building, reminders to build your business, and a monthly leads program, all in one shop, the LEV AI solution. So first, we're going to help people get unstuck. How will we help them get unstuck? By growing their social media presence. It's absolutely a fact that one can accurately predict future results by measuring present influence. If one has limited influence, then the future will not be big. If one has big influence, the future can be much bigger. The way to grow influence in the society we live in today is to grow social media presence. And so the very moment that one does a simple screenshot import, to import a candidate, a contact, into our CRM, the first thing that will happen is they'll save money. Because if you're using CRM, customer relationship management software now, you are paying at least double and perhaps 3 times for just that CRM function what the entire LEV AI solution will cost. And as soon as you do a simple screenshot import, your LEV AI solution will immediately begin scanning the social media profiles of each imported individual and then give you the recipe. What matters to that candidate? Why does it matter? What's the degree of urgency? What are the hot buttons? And then it will even create the script for you to provoke the conversation. And in so doing, we'll gradually expand social media presence. When one expands social media presence, one expands future value. Once again, the beautiful simplicity of simple screenshot import. And after that screenshot import, you find out all there is to know about that candidate, such as you can deliver the information that they want to hear, as opposed to having to poke and prod around, spending precious time. Time, it's our most precious asset. None of us have enough of it. We cannot create more. We should never spend it. LEV AI will help you stop spending time trying to figure out what's important to each next contact, and it will help you invest time instead, because you know in advance what the candidate wants, and we can help find the solution that accrues to your benefit as well as theirs. I talk about the fact that for so many people, there will be literally no cost, maybe a net negative cost of using the LEV AI solution. Why? Because whatever you currently pay for your CRM is more than our entire solution costs, because you'll no longer need to pay a website developer or a tech firm to maintain it. And this next piece is so important to me. In my life, I've had a lot of experiences, and one of them is I fly airplanes. And when I fly an airplane, I'm an instrument rated pilot. And that means that sometimes I fly in the clouds. Well, if I'm flying in the clouds, then what I really want at all times is that know that there are eyes upon me to make sure that I'm not making any mistakes. That's an air route traffic control center. That is the control. If I'm in the clouds and I get off track, they will say, 6162 Romeo, please turn 3 degrees to the left and descend 1,000 feet. See, they'll prompt me and guide me to get me back to the center line so I arrive at my destination safely. We'd like every new entrepreneur to arrive at their destination, a destination that is success, to arrive there more quickly and to arrive there with less drama and trauma along the way. Just as the Air Route Traffic Control Center tells me if I'm even 1% off course, just like that, imagine having your preferred leader, whomever that is, your preferred leader, literally at your side, by virtually by your side. utilizing the LEV AI solution so that they can constantly guide you through your first 30 days, your first 60, your first 90, your first 365 days, constantly guiding you back to the center line so that you can be as efficient as is possible. This is of immeasurable, literally immeasurable worth. It will be the difference in success and failure for many. And then I contemplate this thought.
Randy,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Apparently, there's people waiting in the waiting room. Would you be able to let them in?
Oh, hold on here. Let's just get out of here for a second. See how we do that. Zoom. Ba-dum boom. Admit all. Come on. Okay, should be good now.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Everybody who's been stuck in the waiting room, I'm sorry. I mean, you have missed some really brilliant content. I'm joking, of course, because it's me that delivered it. Welcome for being here, and I'm sorry that we kept you stuck in the waiting room. I contemplate the fact that when most people, almost all people who become an entrepreneur, they were first an employee. They were an employee. And as an employee, there was structure. We were told which building we would work in and which town. We were told what time to come to work and what time we could go home. We were given a series of tasks and assignments. We were told to whom we should fill out our reports and so on. All that completely reactive to the demands of our employment. And then there are a percentage of people who find that that shoe doesn't fit very well, that it's a little bit tight or a little constrictive. See, I've never seen a job description that said we're looking for people who want to work where they want, when they want, with whom they want, and if they want. We're looking for people who want to establish their own worth in the marketplace as opposed to an employer establishing it. See, that's no job description. That's a description of entrepreneurship. And so a person starts as an employee, they're completely reactive to the demands of the job. They become an entrepreneur. They now must learn how to be proactive in the development and design and building of a business. And that can be a very, very difficult process to go from reactivity to proactivity. I think that the prompts that I described a moment ago, like the Route Traffic Control Center, guiding each new person back towards the center line, that helps with this. I think what else helps is, would it not be obviously easier to respond to a request for information than it is to try to provoke interest in information? If Lior calls me and says, Randy, I understand that you have knowledge about LEV AI and about artificial intelligence. I understand, Randy, that you have knowledge about the direct selling industry. Can you teach me? Isn't that easy for me to respond to? Well, yes, Lior, I'm happy to help. It's a lot more difficult for me to see Lior and to approach him and say something that causes him to want to know something that I want him to know. Much easier to provide information my candidate has asked for. And so that's why I place huge value in my Propsects monthly lead program. I have stayed away from lead generation throughout my career for the simple reason that if a person spends money for a lead and it does not result in a new customer or it does not result in a new team member, then that can lead to resentment, and certainly not what I would want. But what if there is no added cost? What if it's just part of your subscription? Then there's no downside, there's only upside. The skill to do comes from the doing. If I get to respond to 100 people every month who have asked for information, every one of those responses is teaching me what I will ultimately have to do to provoke the conversation instead of entering one. Every part of this solution has uniqueness to it. Every part of this solution is important. The most important part of it all is that the whole solution is knit together. It's not this app not talking to this one, not talking to this one. The whole thing is knit together, and it is a thing of beauty. And there's more. Every plan includes your own digital clone, here described as an avatar, that looks like you, or you can pick an avatar from the library. You can give it any script of your choice, or you can use your personalized GPT to create one, a personalized GPT. This last week, in the last 7 days, 700 million people on planet Earth have gone to Chat GPT to get an answer to a question or a solution to a problem. And Chat GPT has provided good answers and good solutions, but it has not provided perfect answers and perfect solutions. Why? Because ChatGPT has pulled generic information from the internet. A specific question cannot be answered by generic information. A specific question can only be properly answered with specific information. And so now a personalized GPT which is loaded with the information that is appropriate and specific to your business, your enterprise, your compensation mechanism, your world, your culture. Give it any script or use your GPT to create one. And unlike you, I'm guessing, because I've worked a lot around the world, Americans are the only people who only learn one language. Most of you are probably bilingual. Some of you might be trilingual, but I'm willing to bet that none of you speak 150 languages, but your digital twin can starting next week. As soon as later tonight, I'm hoping, maybe it'll be tomorrow, I will receive my own version of the digital Randy Schroeder. And this is a digital Larry Lane, one of my partners and friends in the business. It was so fascinating to me to see Larry speaking in Hindi and having people in India say, wow, that sounded like a native speaker. And I'm aware of the complexities of Korean. And I had people that are friends of mine from Korea listen to Larry's discussion yesterday in Korean, and they said, Randy, that's really good. That is really good. You're going to be surprised and you're going to be impressed. Even those of you who have knowledge and experience in AI, you're going to be surprised and you're going to be impressed with the efficacy of the product. MyAI Video in Action. You can give it a script or you can have your own GPT create it. Your twin can have your voice or you can select a voice from the library and you get to set the emotion, the tone, the pace of delivery, and so on. I can't share this with you, okay, but I can share this. In my career, and it's been a great one, my organization has done more than $5 billion in sales, as was described. And throughout that entire career, I've been explaining away why things cost so much. And once again, I referenced other people on here from all over the place, but there's a group of you here that are from Israel, or they're in Israel. My son and I, we brought a project to Israel called Monavi. I described that, and Blake, he ran that company for a while. Can you imagine that we brought a bottle of juice about the size of a bottle of wine to Israel, and we sold it for $54 a bottle? And don't you suppose that I had to explain away that price to literally everybody? That was true when you could only buy the acai berry from us. When a couple of years later, you could buy acai everywhere for 12 bucks. It was basically impossible. I want to say this again. You cannot buy what we sell for less money anywhere, period. And if you try to recreate what we offer, it will cost you at least triple what we offer it for. And there are some parts of what we offer that you will not be able to replace at any price. That being an actual interactive or conversational digital version of you that we'll talk about in a second. So what exactly is included for these very low prices of $49 or $99? And that's an ongoing monthly subscription. AI video, your likeness, your voice, speaking your script flawlessly in dozens of languages, and you can use your personalized GPT to create the script. AI social, remember we can accurately predict future influence or future results by current influence. If we want to improve future results, a great place to start is by changing current influence. That happens with our AI writing assistant, beginning to create posts on your behalf from the very beginning, engaging, intriguing posts. Now you're learning how to do it as you watch the system do it. See, I view this two ways. AI can be viewed as a crutch. And a crutch is what we use if we have a disability, temporary or permanent. In some cases, I have permanent disability. I will never speak Hebrew fluently. I won't. I have a permanent disability. And so I cannot wait to use and will be happy to always use my AI crutch. I will never speak Mandarin fluently. And so I'll always use my AI crutch. But every time that AI writing assistant says, this is the post to write here for this purpose, to create more engagement, to grow your presence, I'm learning. I'm learning. And so you see, in some cases, I won't need the crutch in the future because it's actually caused me to become more. What an absolutely beautiful thought. Use the crutch for permanent disability. Don't be in denial about what I will be able to one day do. Utilize the crutch permanently when necessary, but learn from the crutch so that I don't need to use it if I'm on an elevator and somebody makes a comment. I don't want to be checking my personalized GPT to see how to respond to provoke engagement. This actually grows people. It does the opposite of what I've heard suggested, that now people won't matter as much. Wrong. People matter more, and people become more effective as a result of utilizing the process. Business profiles. You may have multiple messages to deliver. If you are a pharmacist and you also sell life insurance, two very different kinds of commentary. With the Pro package, you can have as many profiles as you want loaded into that digital twin. The social media growth and engagement, once again, from the very first day that you began, in the background, LEV AI will start improving your social media presence, which does what? It raises your future market value. CRM with screenshot import, telling you what your candidate wants to hear instead of trying to cause your candidate to be interested in what you want them to be interested in. The web builder immediately eliminate the need to pay a tech firm to manage your website and to create new ones. And I love the fact that the enhanced CRM has a lead funnel associated with it. And people have asked me throughout my career, Randy, will you help me close my candidate? No, 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 I won't. Why? Because I don't want to be closed, and neither do you. What I would like is to be able to make the right decision in the shortest period of time. That's what a properly constructed funnel will do. It will take a person to the point of very first introduction through a proved and predictable series of activities and behaviors that allow each person to arrive at what is the correct choice for him or her in the shortest possible period of time. And then, of course, MyNetwork, the enhanced CRM that creates the lead funnels, and finally over 2 billion searchable prospects. And so now here I've got my former employee who now is an entrepreneur, but they're stuck. Now they've got an access to an incredibly vibrant lead file at no added cost, allowing them to have their first conversations with people who they know want to talk about it. That becomes encouraging and empowering and makes possible in the future the provoking of conversation. This is about growing people. It is not about eliminating people. It is about improving the value of people. It is not about replacing them with technology. The opposite is true. And then that this is something that is a complete, absolute standalone. It matters not how much money you're willing to spend to try to accomplish this same thing. I think you'll find it not possible. An interactive, completely conversational digital version of you. And I think, again, we happen to have friends on here whose native language is Hebrew. You cannot imagine my frustration trying to get my English message across to people who don't know and understand English. It's been limiting to me, and I've always had to have an interpreter, and the quality of the interpreter determined the quality of the presentation, not the knowledge of the presenter. That's the truth. For 35 years, the message has been as good as the interpreter, as opposed to the messenger being as good, or the message being as good as the messenger. That all changes. Right now, at this second in time, I can be in one place, and this is it. I'm in Heber City, Utah, in my living room. That's where I can be. Starting next week, I can be in every home in the world, all at the same time, delivering this business message in the native tongue of the people who live in that home. This is not a subtle shift. Remember, this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. And I get that. If I can go from being limited to being in one place to being every place at once, if I can go from the limitation of the number of hours per day that I am awake and want to be working as opposed to playing or being with my family, whatever that might be, suddenly I'm able to work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year in every single location on planet Earth that has a dial-up or an internet connection. I mean, and that becomes the whole planet really soon. Once again, folks, this is not an extension of your past career. This is not a continuation of what you have done. This is a complete total inflection. This is the industrial revolution, except maybe 10 times bigger and 10 times faster. It's more profound than fire, electricity, or anything we've done in the past. And according to the deepest mind at Deep Mind, it's going to be bigger and maybe 10 times faster than that industrial revolution. And all of that for $99 a month. It states here that an estimate of an employee of the company was that you'd eliminate $315 per month in unnecessary subscriptions. I've been unable to find that. I think it would be at least 500 and maybe 900, depending on what software you're currently using for CRM. Complete unmatched value. The first time in my life, I will tell you point blank, this is a statement of fact, it's not my opinion. You cannot acquire what this company sells for less money. That means that everything just changed. My organizations have done $5 billion in sales. Who cares what my groups have done? I want to know about you. What can we do together? What can you do? What can we do together? If suddenly we're delivering a product that will be mandated, forced upon society, we offer the best combination of goods and services, and we do it for less money, not more, then you tell me how high is up? How high is up and how big can it get? It is simply not comparable to anything that we have historically done. Once again, Sundar Pichai. Bigger than fire, more profound than fire or electricity. Whatever the most profound thing is that you've experienced in your past, this is bigger. And what is the market opportunity? It's hard to describe it, really. But I think the easiest way is this. I have an 8-year-old little boy. Do you suppose that he uses the internet every day? In fact, I think that he would think it was an absolute horrible, horrible experience if he had to go a day without that internet. Do you suppose he uses a computer every day, every single day? He's 8. What percentage of planet Earth is online every day? What percentage of planet Earth uses a computer every day? That's the percentage of planet Earth who will use AI. Today, it's 3%. It's going to be 100%. The market opportunity is simply more profound than anything we've experienced in the past, more profound than fire or electricity. If you become a conduit to other people's use, once again, we don't have a choice of whether or not we're going to use, we are. If we become a conduit to other people's use, they'll select one of those 2 packages. And when they do, you offer the product, they buy it, and you'll get paid 50% of their product purchase price. We try to meet people where they are. We try to help people further leverage their past experiences. For example, I have a friend, her name is Julianne. And Julianne and her partner won the competition Dancing with the Stars in the United States. And as a result of that prominence, she started a movie with Tom Cruise. She is an influencer. She has 25 million Instagram followers. How many of those 25 million are going to use AI? 25 million. That's how many. Her influence causes them to buy brands that she suggests. That's what happens. If she uses her influence for them to use LEV AI as their artificial intelligence solution, she'll get paid 20% of their subscription price month after month after month after month after month, never ending. This is the biggest opportunity that any influencer has ever or will likely see. That's the truth. And so that's one opportunity. What is the other opportunity? Is to recognize that many of us, Lior, myself, Aaron, we have built successful careers building organizations, building leadership structures. This is a simple 8-generation unilevel compensation plan. Acquisition bonus, we get paid 50% of whatever the candidate acquires. We get paid 4% in generations 2 through 8. 4% of what? 4% of the subscription price. Now, please notice that we do not artificially diminish the dollar. We don't take the dollar that came in and say, well, we're only going to pay you commissions on half of that. And that's what we'll call PV or CV. No, if a dollar comes into the company, it goes into the comp plan. You get paid 20% on generation 1, no matter how many people you choose to enroll and hold there, and then 4% through 7 more generations. Now, whenever a concept is hot, I mean red hot, the market will tell you so. One thing I learned, for a long time, I was a stockbroker. I was a senior vice president at Merrill Lynch, and then I was in the high yield department at Drexel Burnham Lambert. And what I was taught over and over and over again, a never ending refrain, was listen to the market, listen to the market. If the market's going up, that means the economy in the future is going to be good. Listen to it. The market knows. If the market's going down, that means there's economic trouble coming in the future. The market knows. Listen to it. Well, the market knows about this too. It was only 4 weeks ago that we had our first conversation like this one. There were 16 people on it who all had to sign NDAs. As Lior described a minute ago, without spending a dollar in advertising, with it being completely word of mouth, starting from a standstill start 4 weeks ago, we now have over 30,000 people who have said, yes, I want to be among the first users of this product when it goes live sometime in the next week or 10 days. Our daily application flow has now eclipsed 3,000. Write it down and say heard it here first. What you'll find from me is I'm about the most transparent, fully disclosed individual you'll ever meet. If you want to see the back office, you want to see numbers, I'll show it anytime anybody ever asks. You write it down and say heard it here first. Our daily application flow is going to go to 10,000 per day sometime in the next 4 weeks when people start seeing this process actually in action. Couple of quick updates. LEV AI application is nearly complete. Will be introduced soon. The LEV AI back office is complete and ready to be introduced. Much of the functionality has not yet been turned on and will not be turned on until the actual go live date, which I believe, not a formal announcement, but I believe is this coming Monday, the 15th of September. I've had the opportunity to tinker around in the back office. It's beautiful. It's easy. It's intuitive. For any of you who have already begun enrolling people, there are a couple of you here probably who have, then you'll have people in your waiting room. You already have the opportunity to place them. Simply go to your back office, click on the resources tab and watch a 3-minute video, and that will show you how to manage your business. Already we have multiple language support, 10 languages. There will be many more coming. And I know that when one launches a business on a global scale all at once, There are some challenges that one can anticipate, and some challenges will rear their head that we don't anticipate. One challenge we can anticipate is that in some markets where we don't yet have local banking relationships established and local credit card processing, in some markets, it will be difficult getting some cards to run. Now, that will not be a big problem in Israel. In Israel, that won't be a problem. In Australia, it's a pretty big problem. And so a solution, a temporary solution, is simply every one of you that does not live in the US or Canada, please, 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 before you earn your first commission check in this company, establish a PayPal account. There's no cost associated with it, and that works seamlessly on a global scale. So there is no such thing as I can't do this business because my credit card doesn't work. No, establish a PayPal account, and that will work just fine. Only about 1 week after our formal launch, and when I believe that the date of launch is going to be the 15th of September, about 1 week later, we'll begin accepting crypto. And so the pressure on credit cards will go down dramatically at that point. And then our company is practical and pragmatic as it must be. We will not go in and make the investments to get local credit card processing in every market. We will do it in markets where the volume supports it, where the volume justifies it, and we'll use PayPal and crypto in those markets where it is not yet justified. By the way, PayPal and crypto will be available in every market, credit card payments available in markets where local processing is effective and in markets where we get those local processors. If you're not yet doing so, please follow us on social. This is about the most compelling and fascinating story I have ever seen. Having done this for many years, it still to me is a mind blower. I log on and I take a look and I say, are you kidding me? More than 30,000 people in 28 days. How is that even possible? I've never seen anything remotely close to this. Do not believe that something else similar to this will pop up tomorrow or the next day or next month or next year. I've been 35 years and I've never seen anything remotely similar to this by a magnitude of 10. We have over 30,000 people, folks. I have never in a month had more than 3,000. This is not an extension of our career, as I've stated. This is different. And because it's different, we should act. And here's a suggestion of how to act. If you simply go to youtube.com/@GetLevAIHQ, you'll find there a 90-second sizzle video. If I could somehow snap my fingers and get out of my head and my heart what's there to yours, then here's what you would do. You would request your online application now, online registration. It's not an application. There's no cost associated with that today. The cost will be incurred next week when the company goes live. And then it's going to be $49 or $99 plus a $19 annual fee. That's what it's going to be. If I were you, I would take advantage of the fact that you can say yes tonight and not have to fund that yes until next week. I would then scan through my telephone and I would send that sizzle video to everybody. And I would go to your Outlook or whatever it is, and I would send that sizzle video to everybody. Everybody. It's intriguing, it's engaging, it's fun to look at. And what you'll find out is that people are already talking about AI. They're just not talking about AI to you because you haven't provoked that conversation. Let the video find the people who are already interested in what we're going to do. Let the video find the people who will become interested once they see what the realities are. 90 seconds long. It is easy. If I could snap my fingers and get out of my head and my heart what's there to yours, you'd all do that about 50 times tonight, and you'd all have 20 candidates on tomorrow morning's presentation. You could become profitable your first week in this business. Please, please, please don't let these moments of opportunity slip through your hands. Now, whenever we have a brand new enterprise, there are, of course, risks associated with that. The role of an entrepreneur is to find ways to maximize upside while mitigating the risks of downside. Here, that risk is completely mitigated by the fact that Terry LaCour owns the company. Tremendous global reach and experience. LaCour Enterprises is the global service provider for LEV AI. The extremely rapid development, I mean straight up vertical thrust this company is experiencing, is possible due to the LaCour company's efficiencies and ability to manage and scale. LaCour Payment Technologies, access to leading back office, commissions and operating history, hundreds of years of collective team experience, over 25 years of history and $7 billion in revenue. What we have is the opportunity to be at the absolute first, at the genesis, at the point of origin. Even in fact, before the company officially launches, you can be among the people who receive the first commission checks ever delivered by this company in about 10 days from now. The question is not whether or not you and I, we, all of us, we will all adopt AI. That's not the question. The question is, will we become the conduit through which others adopt AI? Will we become the catalyst to cause that which was destined to occur a bit more quickly? And by the way, for those of you who've been trying to figure out what's the key that I put in the lock to have tremendous financial outcome, here's one key: stop trying to make things happen. Instead, identify those things which are going to happen, then become a catalyst in causing that which was destined to occur a bit more quickly. That is what rings the bell. And right now, I mean, literally now is the time to start. Now, this slide is a week old. A week ago, it said that LEV AI would officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. A week went by. So now that's 1 to 2 weeks. And I can tell you, as a knowledgeable insider, that it's not 2. I can tell you that. This company will launch sometime between Sunday and Tuesday. That means Monday. And the odds of that happening are something north of 99%. That is what's going to take place. If you're not yet an early adopter, please ask whomever invited you here to send you the online registration form and get registered. Then take a look at that short video clip and ask yourself the question: how would you feel if someone that you know, trust, and respect sent it to you? How would you feel as you watched it? Then that will encourage and empower you to send it out to people that know, trust, and respect you. Then ask you another question: how would you feel if someone that you hardly know sent it to you and simply said something like this: are you aware of the advent of the global adoption of AI? And have you considered how that might impact your family financially, for better or for worse? Please watch this 90-second video and then let's talk. That's what I do about 100 times every single day. That's what I do. Before I go to bed at night, I send that out about 100 times. And when I wake up in the morning, I check to see who I've already enrolled, and I check to see who has responded with questions and inquiries and want to know more. And that simple behavior has resulted in me personally enrolling more than 140 people in the last 4 weeks. And it's resulted in the assembly of an organization more than 30,000 strong in the last 4 weeks. That's going to accelerate dramatically next week when this stops being concept and starts being reality. I really, really appreciate you spending some time with me this evening. In fact, I want to restate that. I hope very much that this was not an expenditure of time for you. I hope very much it was an investment of time for you. I believe it was an investment of time for me. I want you to know that while it was only a couple of days ago that I met Erin, I think that there's people in the waiting room again. I'm not completely sure, and I don't know how to get over there. Only a couple of days ago that I met Erin, but the day that I met her, I knew the minute that I met her that I'd met what I call a catalyst personality, someone whose energy attracts other people and makes them want to go where they want to go. I was introduced to Erin by Lior. Lior is a person for whom I have profound respect. And I want you to know that I'm deeply personally committed to Lior's success. I'm deeply personally committed to Erin's success. And that commitment extends to you. And those of you who don't know me, you don't really know if that's true or false. You don't. Anyone who knows me and has worked with me, they know this: if you ask for help, you'll get it. And if you don't ask for help, I'll call and offer it. That's the way that really works with me. So that being said, Lior and/or Erin, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thanks for letting me be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Randy. If you could unmute Shal Israeli to say a few words, that would be great.
Of course.
And then we have some questions for the FAQ. We have some people in the chat that have some questions. We can answer some questions afterwards.
Of course.
We'll just so Shal, if you could say
clicked
words, that would be great.
Yeah, I sent him a text asking him to unmute. Okay. I don't know if he's seen it, but I did send that text asking. And in fact, let's do this, Erin. How about if you take back control? You become the manager of the room again, and then you can
Sure thing.
Do what needs to be done. Thank you.
All right, great. So while Shal is unmuting himself, we will get to some of the questions. So one of the questions that people had, Randy, is how long can each script be for the AI twin?
How long between the time you register and you're going to get your twin?
No, how long can the script be for
as long as you want it to be. I mean, I've uploaded hundreds of hours of content. I mean, literally hundreds of hours of content. It can be as long as you want to talk. There is no limitation.
Excellent. The next question is, who maintains control of the intellectual property, including the scripts, the contacts, etc.?
Anything that you upload that is your content is yours. You can upload content that is already not yours. For example, you could upload Jim Rohn's content. That's not yours, right? But any content that is yours, you copyright it, it is yours, you can recall it, it's not available to the company to use.
Excellent. Regarding the website, can you use your own domain for the website, or is it a specific LEV AI domain?
Your choice. You can use a LEV AI domain. You can have it hosted wherever you want.
And you can host it wherever you want. Great. That was the next question. And if anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat. You can also raise your hand. We can unmute you. That would be great. Again, this is an incredible opportunity. Oh, there's another question coming in. Can we create content to post on social media?
Yes, not only can you, but that's 2/3 of the whole point of this. Yes.
Awesome. So you can definitely create that. And we will be launching on Monday, which is amazing. Regarding the recording will be sent to you by your upline leader. So anybody that may have been stuck in the waiting room or joined a little bit late, you will receive the recording from your upline leader. I have posted the link for the sizzle video in the chat group, so you can find it there. You can also request your upline leader to add you to the WhatsApp group for the company. And also we have a team group called the Elite Team group on WhatsApp as well. So you can ask to be added to both of those WhatsApp groups, and you'll constantly be updated with the links and the recordings and the time webinars. We have another question coming in. What is the difference between LEV AI and Synthesia or Mirage Studios?
Unless either one of those have changed in the last week, neither one of them would offer the interactive avatar. And that's a big difference. The ability to actually have a conversational avatar, unless that's been made available very recently, neither of those two companies offer that. Second, price points. What we do is simply less money. Third, neither of those two companies, at least, I mean, I'm quite familiar with both, neither of them offer lead generation. I think that's a great big part of this overall puzzle. The personalized chat GPT, those are all differences.
Absolutely. As we all know, there's a lot of companies out there that offer some of the things that we offer, but there's not a company that offers everything that we offer. And as we know, technology and AI is always changing and is always evolving. So the beautiful thing about LEV AI is it's going to evolve with what's happening in the world, and it's actually going to stay ahead of the curve in terms of the technology. So what LEV AI looks like today is not what it's going to look like in 6 months, and it's not going to look like in 1 year. It's going to continue to grow and evolve, and all of the tools that we have are just going to grow and continue to get better and better and better. And that's really the important thing when you're looking at different companies, is not to look at which company has everything right now, but which company has a roadmap that's going to continue to innovate and that's going to continue to evolve as we move into the future of what AI will look like. And that's exactly what the promise of LEV AI is to continue to grow and to add more and more tools to help people to grow and to build their businesses. Looks like there's another question coming in. Does the platform allow actual voice recording, meaning my voice can be used and it allows for people with accents?
Yes, what's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's almost, I mean, I look at it and I smile broadly. You don't even need to say, Lior, you could provide a script with words that you have never said, right? You've never said them. You could write a paragraph, a page, a book, words you've never said, and upload it to your avatar. And it will be your voice, your style of speaking, your accent, your points of emphasis with words you never said. And it will be so close to the real you that you might be able to separate it, but the typical listener would not.
Excellent. Next question is there support for business development of our business through tutorials?
Yeah, they recognize that one of the challenges with AI right now is that people are, a lack of knowledge creates insecurity, which can easily blossom into fear. And so we actually view ourselves as kind of an AI university. As the company goes live, the tutorials are brilliant. They're engaging, they're fun, they're gamified. And now that I've begun using a little bit in advance, I can tell you it is so very simple. but there's no reason for anybody to get stuck because the tutorials are fun. And again, they're gamified. And so, yes, that is addressed fully.
Excellent. The next question is, can we use LEV AI as a SaaS business model?
Yes.
Great. Next question, is the 2.5 billion lead searchable database continually collecting data?
I'm not sure that I completely understand the question. The database has 2 billion candidates in it. Those 2 billion candidates are all, there is no candidate that would be delivered more than one time in 11 months. And so if Lior gets a candidate out of that list today, then perhaps Ron would get that same candidate 11 months from now if they're still in the database. But that it's not that you're going to be contacting somebody and you find out, oh my gosh, Aaron called and Don called and all these people called. So one time in 11 months, only 2 times in total is the lead disseminated, and then it's purged from the database. And so there's an ongoing lead generation process that's going on to create that funnel, to create that pool. And that it's 2 billion, not 2.5, 2 billion searchable leads is it's a floating group because people are cycling in and cycling out with no lead being delivered more than twice.
Excellent. Next question, is it possible to integrate the CRM aspect of the platform with the website in order to do bookings?
Yes.
Great. So that is an option. And like I mentioned before, there's always going to be new options, new features added. It's just going to continue to evolve and get better and better and better. And if you do have requests for any features that you would like, feel free to send a support ticket through your back office to the company to let them know we would love to have this feature or we would love to have this feature. And then the company will look at that and they will see what they can integrate into the suite of tools that the company offers. I don't see any other. Oh, we have another one. Can I add my current contact list to the platform to use when doing email marketing?
Yes, very easily so.
Great. I also know that you can export your contact list as well. So that's an option that you can do as well. If anybody else has any other options, feel free to raise your hand. Oh, the person is saying I have a ton of questions. No problem. So we may run out of time for all your questions today. Your questions are great. Feel free to send an email to myself or to your upline. We will be more than happy to reply to make sure that all of your questions are going to be answered. Unless anybody else has any other questions.
There are a couple of more that showed up there. And Lior, I'm going to type into this thing my email address. Anyone who has a question, feel free to communicate directly with me. If you do communicate directly with me, please copy on the line your enroller. Okay. I mean, if you're sending me a direct question, I would like for your upline to be copied in it so that they are in the communication loop. You will appreciate that when people in your organization want to contact me directly, you'll want to be in that communication loop. So I am typing my email address right here. Any of you are welcome to ask me anything. There is no question that's inappropriate. I will respond to anything with complete transparency. My only request is that you include in the copy line whomever brought you to the party so that they're in that communication loop as well. I'll just type this here.
Randy, will there be a mobile application for the software?
Yes, remember that was in the updates given yesterday. The application's in its final testing. Application, I believe, I'm hoping, will be made available at the date of launch. It might be a week or two later, but we're currently hoping and believing that it will launch at the same time we go live.
Excellent. So Randy has added his email address into the chat. So if you do have any questions, you can either feel free to email Randy directly, or you can message us on WhatsApp. You can refer to your upline. Whatever would be easier for you to get the answers that you need. We're all here to support. We're all here to help. That's the beautiful thing about LEV AI. There's so many people that want to help you and make sure that you're successful in this business, that we make sure that we become available for you guys. If anybody does not have any other questions, then we will wrap it up. But we do have these presentations every single day at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time and at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to get those links from your upline or from the WhatsApp group. If you're in the company WhatsApp group, you will get notifications every day of the links and the times of the webinars that we have daily. We will be launching on Monday. We're very, very excited about that. Randy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It was great to share the information about LEV AI with you, and it's going to be fun. We're going to be at 50,000 people very soon. We're going to be at 100,000 people in the company very soon. So please share that sizzle video with everybody. Let's start sharing the amazing opportunity that this is, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Lior. Thank you, Aaron.
Or evening, wherever you are.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Appreciate you all so much. Thank you.